Hey guys, this is Dion here with Your Guitar Academy, and in this lesson we're going to take a look at the B section of this John Frusciante style piece. So this section is really similar to the first half of the B section, but we're introducing another chord into the mix, as well as a couple of slight variations on the embellishments. So grab a guitar, let's get going. Before we get started, don't forget to head over to the website to find all additional materials, including tab, backing tracks, and also the lesson write-ups. And also, please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us a comment, and we'd love to hear how you're getting on. So let me just start off by just playing through this piece on its own, this half of the section on its own, and you can kind of hear what it sounds like without the backing track. So something like this. So you see the chord progression is almost exactly the same as the first half, except we're introducing this C into the mix. Okay, so starting on the D chord again, and the embellishment for that chord is exactly the same as the first time round, which if you remember was something like this. 1 E and a 2 E and. Yeah, so that's the vibe on that one. And then on the A chord, it's very, very similar again, except rather than do the hammer on the B string, you want to do it on the high E. Okay? So that's the same fret, same rhythm as before. So 1 E and a 2. And in fact, this actually starts on beat 3, because remember the first chord is beats 1 and 2. So you go 1 and a 2 E and 3 and 4 and. So on the 4 and, we're hammering with the 4th finger onto fret 7 of the high E, and then lift it off for the next one. Simple as that. So, and there we go. Cool, and on to the next one, we are now introducing this C chord. So this one doesn't actually have an embellishment in it, because what I always think with embellishments, you kind of lose the magic of them a little bit if you do them all the time. So, you know, you kind of got to be a little bit tasteful about it and try and leave some chords to just breathe. So when I was writing this piece, I decided for the C chord, I'd just leave it be, and I'd just go just 2 simple downstrokes like so. So we're going to play the C chord using the E shape, so same as what we just did for the A. And you want to move it up to the 8th fret, and you just do 2 solid downstrokes. So timing wise, it would go like this. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4. Okay, so it's on the 3 and basically. In fact, no, it's not. That was wrong. It would go 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. So the kind of sound of it was the same, but it's actually on beats 1 and, not 3 and. 1 and 2 and. Okay, so just again, 2 solid downstrokes there. Then we land back on the G chord that we had in the previous one. And this one has got a kind of a similar embellishment, but not quite the same. So this one's a little bit different. It goes 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and. So this is a very, very, quite a quick one actually when we're playing it at full tempo. It's a very, very quick embellishment. So it goes something like this. So again, I'm just visualizing that pentatonic box. Remember we spoke about this in the previous unit. Visualizing that over, you know, within this chord. And that's a really common thing there as well, to do this sus4 sound that we're very used to hearing in chords. You know, for instance, you know, you can do it with these chords as well, and that's what's gone on here. So the embellishment actually starts with the 4th fret of G, 3rd fret of B, second and first fingers, and we go. So that's the third finger climbing up to the 5th fret of G. Then back again. Okay, so then we move down to the D string 5th fret with the 3rd finger, and the 2nd finger plays the 5th fret of the A string, so like this. And I actually play this all as downstrokes because I find that it just helps to give it a bit more energy, a bit more power. It kind of jumps out a bit more. Rather than... Doesn't sound quite the same, whereas if you go... It's got a nice bit of snap to it. So in context, remember from the C we go 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and. Bit slower. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and. So it's quite a quick one, that. It's quite a lot to take in, but let's have a little play with the drums and you can kind of hear. So just that last one for now, then I'll go through them all again. So 1, 2, and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 3 E and a 4 E and. In fact, let me just take it even slower because that's 60 there, but let's just hear it down at 50 so we can get a bit of a better feel for where those notes are landing. There we go. Okay, so I'll count this in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. And 3 E and a 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and 3 E and a 4 E and. So one thing you might be thinking that has just sprung to my mind is it almost looks like I'm going against my advice in the previous unit where you should try and stick in these zones that I mentioned before. So you might be thinking, okay, why couldn't you do the C here, you know, with the A shape? But there was a reason for it. It's because if you listen on the playthrough, I do a little slide up to the chord. So that was kind of just a little feature thing that I did in the moment and I kind of like the sound of. So really subtle, but you can kind of hear you slide up to the chord. Whereas if I was to go, I could slide up to there, but it's not quite as easy to go from there, down there, slide up. So it's just one of those things, you know, at the end of the day with music, generally rules are there to be broken, but you do definitely want to follow certain conventions at certain times. But this was just something I decided in the moment was kind of cool. So yeah, 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and. So that's that final embellishment. Let's have a look at them all together along with those drums. I'll go back up to 60 and we can hear how that all sounds. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and. Once more. Yeah, so that just about covers that entire A section. So let me just play both halves of that A section together and you can hear those subtle differences. Here we go. Once more. And there we go. So that's how you can squeeze a lot of juice out of just quite a simple chord progression by incorporating some of these really, really cool embellishments. So Take your time with that again, master that A section, and I'll see you in the next lesson for the B section. That's it for this lesson. If you want to go to the next lesson, you can click here. And if you want to go back to the beginning of the course, you can click here. And also, please like and subscribe. And also leave us a comment. Any questions, we'd love to hear how you're getting on.